Hi, and welcome to the A Quilting Life podcast. I'm Chelsi from Chelsi Stratton Designs.
And I'm Sherri McConnell from A Quilting Life.
And we are here with you today. It's Monday, July 22nd. And this is our episode that we get to share about the new fabric collection.
Yes.
We're really excited about it.
So excited to share.
Yeah, we want to introduce to you Raspberry Summer. But before we go into all that, we will talk about our sponsor, Cozy Earth.
Yes. So I just want to remind you about our relationship with Cozy Earth. We love their products. And I just want to remind you about a few things. It's the perfect little treat for yourself, especially during the summer when you're hot. There is actually a 100-night sleep trial that you can get and a 10-year warranty. So you have nothing to lose by trying Cozy Earth. We love our sheets. We actually set some records. Highest temperature ever in Las Vegas, 120 degrees. And it was that exact same temperature where we live. Very hot, and I'm still loving my Cozy Earth sheets.
Yeah, it's been warm.
Yes.
And that 100-night sleep trial, if you are unsatisfied with the product in that 100 nights, you can send it back and get a full refund.
Full refund. Yeah.
And then 10-year warranty, just if anything happens, even if you do like them, then you can send it back and get a new pair. So
yes. So it's a win-win. And we just want to remind you that we do have a discount code. If you go to cozyearth.com/pages/quiltinglife, that will take you right there. Or if you are just on the site, you can actually hit the drop-down box when you check out and use the code A Quilting Life, and it will ask you how you found out about Cozy Earth, and we would love for you to mention our podcast.
Yeah.
that gets you the 30% off,
Yes.
if anything.
Yeah. Not subscription items.
Yes.
I did find that out. Okay.
Okay, so Mom has the quilts today, and we love sharing new quilts, and especially when they're made with new fabric. So tell us all the things about these, because I love these two patterns.
Super excited about these. On the wall is Fireflies, and this is a 64-inch by 77.5-inch quilt. It uses fat eighths, and it was beautifully pieced by our friend Nancy Lane. She did such an incredible job with this. I love the little, I don't know, I just had so much fun designing this. It's a little take on a churn dash, but with the low volume centers. And then two different block centers. We've got the 9 patches and the stars. And the stars all have low volume centers that match the insets on the churn dash. So I just really love this quilt. And yeah, and then for the border, I had so much fun using the red floral with the raspberries and then the orange. I don't know. I just loved that combination. And then on the table is I Heart Flowers. This is another one of my favorites. This one is 56.5 inches by 66 inches. It is a layer cake quilt. The quilt on the table was actually made with a layer cake and then the extra red and navy for the chain blocks.
For yardages, okay.
Yes, so a little bit of yardage for the chain blocks. There's also the version on the pattern cover where all of the hearts are pink. And so if you want to do that, if you want to make it, I just feel like there's so many options with this quilt. I was kind of doing like a summery version with the red and navy, but you could also do pinks for all your flower centers for the heart sections. And there is yardage given on the pattern if you want to do that. So you can just do a layer cake with your alternate block fabric, or you can do a layer cake with alternate fabrics. And there's also yardage options for the heart centers. And this one I pieced. And let's see, I should have mentioned the quilt on the wall was quilted by Miriam Bott, and the I Heart Flowers quilt was quilted by Val Krieger.
They are so cute. I love them so much. Okay, so we have some listener quilts, right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Always. And so the first one here is the Heartfelt quilt, and was that a sew along with that quarter shop?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
And so it's that quilt, but it is made in your Seashore Drive fabric. This is from Sandra. She says, "Hello all. I just wanted to show my heartfelt quilt using Seashore Drive fabric. I plan on using this for a wedding shower gift. Thanks so much for all you do. Thoroughly enjoyed your visit at Fat Quarter Shop." And again from Sandra. So
thank you.
That is up there. So great job with that one. And then let's see here. So the next one we're going to show it's another quilt along. It was the Barn Star quilt. Okay, and this is from Dawn. She said, "I really enjoy your podcast. I always save it to watch when I am quilting." We found that from a lot of people. They like to listen or watch while they're actually doing their quilting in their sewing rooms. She said, "Last year, the Fat Quarter Shop and other YouTubers did a sew along with the pattern Barn Star Sampler by Shelly Kavana. I fell in love with the pattern, but didn't have time to sew it right away. So when I saw your strawberry lemonade line, I thought it would be perfect with the pattern. I was right. It was so much fun picking fabrics for each block as there are so many possible color combinations. The fabric patterns work well with the fabric patterns work well with the Barn Star blocks, adding texture without detracting from the overall pattern. I did make a smaller version of the quilt, making only one of each block and substituting a few blocks. I'm so thrilled with how it came out and wanted to share it with you all." And she said we could share it on the podcast. So thank you, Dawn, and you guys were pretty blown away with that quilt, with your fabric. Huh?
I think we both, when we saw it, we were both, wow, at the same time. It was gorgeous.
An audible, like,
yes.
Oh!
Thank you for sending that.
And the last one here is a Fall Dash, and this is from Deb, and she just sent us the picture, said she just got Fall Dash back from her quilter. It turned out beautiful, and thank you for the pattern. And you like this one as well.
That one really too. Yes,
did turn out well. So great job there, Deb. And those all up there. So thank you again for everyone that has sent them in. We got some more lined up for next week's episode as well already. So just really good job. We enjoy seeing all those.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and then I guess I'll let you guys take it away with the fabric. We're going to talk, you guys are going to talk as much as you want about that. We already did have a video that came out on
Friday,
July 12th.
The 12th.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so there's a more up close look. So if you didn't see that, then that will be linked in the description as well. I'll have that pop up on the screen as well if you want to take a more up close look at the fabric. We're not going to get like a good shot of it today. They're more going to talk about it. So that video is available. And then after that, whenever you guys are done, we do have a few follow-up emails from some listeners as well we're going to go over.
Awesome. Yeah, the one print I did want on the table was our 60-inch wide Dresden cheater.
Yeah.
Just...
Mom is like...
I'm obsessed with it.
In love. Well,
yes.
and we have to thank Mom because she really started this whole thing. Because remember the story, I didn't want to do this hexie print because I had already done the work for the fabric line and I was done.
With strawberry lemonade.
Yeah. And after we did it and we fell in love with it, obviously, when we were doing this collection, we were like, we got to do another cheater print and do Dresdens. And it's so cute, you guys. I kind of need them both. I just love it. I love it.
Which one do you like this one better than the or the
I can't.
Or, you like them both?
I like them both because it's a different design.
Yes.
And who doesn't want? It was really cute because some of my cousins were here last night for dinner, and Mom had left the room, but the oldest daughter, I was showing her the cheater print and how my mom used it in the center of a pillow. It was the free pattern that Moda, has. And she was like, wow. And she doesn't sew. And she was like, that's really cool for people who don't want to piece a whole Dresden and just to be able to put that in that. That's very cool. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, it was really nice of her.
And she picked up on that without
even me telling her.
Being able, and not even being a quilter or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, remind me again though, because now I'm trying to remember, did we talk about this on the podcast or did we talk about it off the podcast? Because I was unaware that Chelsi didn't want to do the original hexagon print in Strawberry Lemonade.
Oh, really?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I feel like we must have talked about it because I was really pushing for it. And,
Like
sometimes
pushing.
it's hard for Chelsi to get all those files done. And she was like, Mom, I don't want to do it. And then did I just email it to Moda anyway? And
You
then they were
emailed it.
like,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, we love it. Let's do it.
Well, I think what had happened is I was really like, oh, super cute, Mom, because typically I don't spend 3 months designing a collection. I'm inspired right now. I'm going to spend 80 hours on this right now.
Intensively.
Yes,
in a week.
intensively
Yes.
in 1 week.
Yeah.
And I will not leave my computer. And so that's kind of how I work.
Yeah.
And I was burnt out on designing, and Mom, I was like, oh, that's great, Mom. Like, that's cute. And she ended up just emailing it. And then when they said they wanted it, I was like, oh man, I got to design this now.
Yeah. Because I just mocked it up in EQ to show them what my brain was thinking. But then Chelsi had to do all the real work. So,
well, and luckily, Lexi is a panel queen. She's the design assistant for Moda, and she really helped guide me through that process. So I learned a ton. And so when we did the Dresden, piece of cake. It was so easy for me. Yeah. So now I love learning new things. So it's great because now I can design hopefully anything with it. I loved it. I thought it was great.
And that's why I brought up the hexagon print, because I knew you were like, oh, great, I have to do this. And then I also heard you say before that, or you guys talk about that it was sort of a struggle for you. Yeah. So that was going to be my next question was, so this one looks a little more complicated than a hexagon print because there's a lot more lines and angles and everything to it. So I was like, did this take a lot more? But now you're saying it was easy.
No, it was...
And I don't know, maybe it's a little more too much detail, but is it easy just because you're more familiar how to do it on your program, or because that has to be tougher to draw and line up, right?
On the program, when you look at that, I would have never ever done this or even
without
tried.
having done the other first.
Yeah, without having. In that one, I spent so much time on. This one, it was like boom, 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 like I was done in like an hour. It was like.
And the size just ended up so perfectly for fussy cutting it and substituting it for a 6-inch finished block. It's just, I have a whole bunch of ideas going through my head about some projects I want to do where I combine 6-inch blocks with fussy cut Dresdens.
Well, and that, but also it is a lifesaver on a backing.
Yes.
So I had a quilt that was longer because you need extra length for your quilter. And I was like, oh, if I cut, my 2 pieces of fabric, it's still not, even when I sew them together, it's still not going to be long enough. That's why you like 108-inch wide backings. That's why. So with the cheater print being 60 inches wide, I changed it. I went and I grabbed my sample yardage.
Right.
And I did that as the backing yesterday.
For one of the quilts.
For one of my new quilts.
Awesome.
Yeah. But, and it's going to be really, really pretty. So I love it. We're pretty excited about that addition to the collection. This is really funny. I feel like we dove right into this cheater print without really introducing the actual fabric.
And also just to let you know, also the cheater print is not included in the bundle.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
You have to buy it separately. Now, this is also something, the hexagon was gone very quickly. So if you're thinking about ordering some of the Dresden and you're going through a local, like obviously your local quilt shop or online shop, definitely talk to them, because when the hexie was gone, it was gone. And I know on our Facebook group, and in particular, people were like, I didn't get any of the hexie. And I was like, oh, I wish I would have ordered more, because I'm dwindling.
I have one more bolt.
Yeah, I
that
noticed.
I'm saving.
You have a whole bolt of it. And I was like,
But no, I guess to back up, this collection was designed to be a sister collection to Strawberry Lemonade. So that was our starting point. We had released Strawberry Lemonade, and we had a meeting with our design directors at Market, and we had already decided that was going to be the summer 2024 collection was going to be a sister collection.
Yeah, and to give a little bit of background, this is things you don't see or hear about. I was really not wanting to actually do this collection. I thought it was too soon. Mm-hmm. Mom felt differently. And I didn't even want to start designing it. And I remember I was just like, you want to know what? I'm just going to start designing. And then I don't even know it was probably you who brought up, let's add a navy in. And it changed everything while I was designing. Like it changed the whole, my whole setup. And then I was like excited about it because it was something different and the colors are really bright and vibrant. But it's a sister collection to Strawberry Lemonade. It perfectly goes with it to mix and match. So it is one you're going to want to have to mix with your Strawberry Lemonade for sure.
But then with the addition of the navy, it just gives it a whole new life.
Yeah, it's a whole new collection. And obviously we went Go Big or Go Home on the low volumes again. They are so cute. If you watched the video where we went over all the prints, I love this collection so much. I love designing with it. I love everything about it.
And there are only 2 repeats, the red gingham and the green gingham.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 repeats from Strawberry Lemonade.
But then it was great because we've never had a navy gingham, and we loved adding that. We have an aqua gingham.
Yeah.
So I think those are the only ones. But yeah, those are the only repeats in the whole collection. Everything else is original designs. And obviously, it was really fun to add the raspberries because Strawberry Lemonade had the strawberries in the large floral. We did raspberries, changed up the floral. And then the paisley print, if you saw that in the video, is my favorite. And I love that we did a paisley. So we did a paisley with Balboa, and it was super cute. I love it in this collection, multiple colorways. So,
and I feel like I should just clarify the ginghams are a tiny bit different sized. I noticed I put them next to my Strawberry Lemonade.
No way.
Yeah, it's just a tiny bit, but it's a little bit noticeable, but not very.
That's so
You'd have to put them side by side to know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love a small gingham. I also love that we have a dot. It's a really good size.
Yeah.
This is what's funny. If you remember the podcast episode where we were talking about being in Houston and Mom being up all night sharing her names, I was nervous. We flew to Houston last year and had this collection with us.
And we hadn't agreed on a name.
Yeah, we hadn't agreed on a name. And that's where Mom was like, what about this name? It was like 2 a.m.
It's like 2 a.m.
Oh, this is the collection.
This was the
collection.
If anyone remembers that story, it was after Quilt Market. You were talking about how, didn't you call her at 2 a.m. or?
No, we were in the hotel room.
We were in the hotel room. Was it the night that you got locked out and then I was awake?
No,
it was a different night.
That was the night, guys. Okay. Oh my goodness.
I do, now that you said that, I'm like, I do remember you talking about not agreeing on a name, and then Mom called you later, said something, right?
Well,
why don't you retell? Give the short version.
We had the meeting the next day, so we had to come up with this name that night. So it was 1 or 2 a.m.
She would not stop. It was all night, and I was like trying to sleep. I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I'm so tired. But when Mom gets an idea, so even in her regular daily life, she'll get up and you'll write things down, right? Like her brain will not shut off. So she's in the hotel room. I'm getting the onslaught of this.
How about this?
How about this? And she's like laughing. She was like so hyper. It was so funny. And I was
but the whole time, this was my favorite name because I had actually thought about this months earlier. And I had mentioned it a few times and I always got shut down.
Because it's the obvious choice, right? Strawberry Lemonade, Raspberry Summer. But I thought it was too cliche. I was like, raspberry. We have raspberries in it.
Do you have any other berry collections?
No.
So this is your berry collection since they're sister collections.
I like it. The berries.
So if you ever have something similar, coming in the future, I think, you sell
add berries.
blueberry that you can go to. You have blackberry.
Blueberry spring.
Just saying, if you make something similar to this or strawberry lemonade, I think berry this might have to be your berry family.
Yeah.
A berry family. Well, the next day we go to the meeting, and I critique my own artwork.
Yes.
Psychotically. I'm always like, it's never good enough. Like, it's not good.
Right.
I'm really hard on myself, and I don't know why that is. And I'll even text mom, it's not good. And she's like, oh my goodness, Chelsi. So we go to the meeting, literally sit down. They're like, oh, we love it. And they're like, what about the name? And I'm like, I was embarrassed. I was like, oh,
you had a name that you shared first.
Yeah. And they were kind of like, And then my mom's like, well,
I have this name,
Raspberry Summer. And they were like, oh, we love it. And I was just like, 2 a.m. for this? 2 a.m. I could have been asleep for like 3 hours if I just would have trusted mom's name. Yeah. So they loved it. And it was fun to have. I like having meetings with Moda in person.
It was so nice.
So nice.
Hopefully we can do that again this fall.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Great idea. I'm going to write that down. That's next on my list then. Because we have our collection ready that's going to be shared in the spring, but we don't have it for the next fall. So we probably should have something ready. Yeah. But no, it's just funny because this happens a lot and it just all comes together. And so thus Raspberry Summer was born.
Yes.
But we love it. We both have, how many quilts do you have?
I have 4 quilts, and then I have a project with Dresden's, a wall hanging, a table runner, and a pillow.
You have a kit.
And a kit with that.
You'll share more about that?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I also have a bag pattern with this fabric.
Yeah.
That is really cute. So, yeah, I'm super excited about the new group of patterns. And
I have 5.
2 of them are here, and you've got 5 quilts.
5 quilts. One also has an alternate red, white, and blue version because you know me, I can't help myself if there's... we wanted to be able to show all the different options with the fabrics, and red, white, and blue is in here, guys.
Definitely.
We have this like minty aqua, and it's really, really cute.
I feel like the color distribution with this collection is really good too. There's plenty of reds and greens if you want to do something Christmas, plenty of reds and navies if you want to do the red, white, and blue.
Reds and
reds, you've got reds pink, you've got red, pink, orange, you've got the aqua and the teal in addition to the navy, and then the green has a couple different shades, and it's just really been phenomenal to work with.
I said this when we released Strawberry Lemonade. I remember in the fabric video, or one of the videos, I had said I was really happy sewing with it, and that obviously I love all our collections, but I have felt the same this time. So I'm like, I have one more at the point where we're filming this. I have one more quilt to sew, and I'm kind of excited because I can share progress pictures of it on my social media, but everything else is done or is getting done. I have felt really grateful this time around. I know Mom has Nancy, so for her I had my quilter Marion is making a quilt for me, and Tammy from Moda, who has since retired, she's awesome, so I'll talk more about that.
When you share those quilts.
Yeah, when I share those quilts that she did those, we're excited about it. But
and I'm so glad you got we each had, Chelsi had 3, but I had 2 quilts pieced. And it just really helped with it being summer, and especially with you being home with your children.
Yeah.
So that you can have a summer too, because this fabric did not arrive on our doorstep until the first week of June.
It was a little bit later.
A little bit delayed.
Strawberry Lemonade last year was in May.
Yeah. No, we had fabric in April. For a July release.
Yeah, we had tons of time. And this time I just... It's been nice being with my kids, but also still being able to sew.
Right.
And even last night, I have 2 quilts from this day I'm getting to Marion, and They're so cute, you guys. I love them. I love this group. I love how the catalog looks. I love all the fabrics. I don't know how many times I can say that. I just feel like the inspiration was really from Strawberry Lemonade, and we loved how bright and cheery it was.
And definitely a summertime vibe.
Yeah, and
too.
isn't it fun to share it in summer? Like I know it releases in February
of 2025.
But it's great. I like that timeline because we're sharing it in summer, but then you're able to sew it before summer next year.
Right. And also
sew with it, I mean.
Yes, and fight the winter blues when this fabric arrives in stores in February. It'll just kind of give everybody
February 2025.
Yes. So definitely reach out to your favorite shops and let them know that you want them to order it. We have really learned over the past couple of years how important that is, so that shops, they kind of need to know that you want to buy something so that they can make a commitment to order a collection.
Yes. And if it's kind of how Strawberry Lemonade went, definitely check with your quilt shops. And
many shops are doing pre-orders now.
Which is great.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, we also have we'll have some fun things with Fat Quarter Shop. I don't know how much we can share, but we will have some fun stuff with them with this collection.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for that as well. I think we really went into it with the fabric video. If you missed that, all of the prints, but lots of great new patterns, great group of a great collection. The cheater print is always great. And we just hope you love it as much as we do. We're really excited over the next few podcasts to share all of the
rest of the quilts and projects.
Yeah, and just share them all. And Mom actually got some amazing photography done with our friend Marissa. And you'll probably see pictures of that on her blog or social media. And just really excited. I think, did we cover?
I think we covered it.
Everything?
You tell me.
Yeah.
I do want to. Did I ever share that story from the hotel?
Well, I think you did, but we weren't allowed to say what it was in regards to.
I didn't even know what fabric. I didn't know it was this fabric collection.
But did you know I got locked out of the hotel room?
Yeah, you shared that story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just,
But I was going to say, so if people can notice Chelsea looking at her phone throughout this whole
I'm
episode,
so sorry. Please explain.
I'm just.
There's a good reason.
There's a good reason.
You're talking about your quilts getting. Marion is literally going to be driving by through our town here soon.
Well, we're going to meet her on Chelsea's going to meet her on I-15.
I literally have to meet her on I-15
to drop off quilts.
She's been giving me updates of where she's at because she has to get home to Vegas.
Yes.
And
so there's going to be a quick handoff of
there's going to be a little exchange.
Two quilts?
2 quilts I got done. They're so cute. Marion is amazing. She's going to get them quilted. But yes, I do want to apologize. I have been checking my phone during this podcast because I have to be able to meet her at the highway. And so it's a nice little exchange for them because they're pulling a trailer and everything. She's awesome. She does this for us all the time.
Yeah. In fact, she's coming home from her cabin, but on her way there, she stopped and gave me a quilt that she had.
But mine weren't done yet.
Right.
And so I do apologize. Thank you, Billy, for bringing that up because I don't want people to be like, oh, Chelsea was on her phone the whole time. But there is a good reason. Marion's been conversing with me about where she's at. I don't have a tracker or else I would.
But it's just funny because you're talking about this fabric collection and that those quilts are for this fabric collection, correct?
Yeah.
So it's sort of all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's we got through a podcast before she made it through, so that's awesome.
Just about. Yeah, I was gonna actually finish this podcast up with next week we have a third episode.
Yes.
And with listener questions, but to end this one, I wanted to read a few that were more some more listener emails that have been follow-ups to past episodes here over like the last 5 or 6 episodes. And so that I got some really good emails. I just wanted to share those and share them with my mom and sister as well. The first one here is from Jennifer, and she wrote in after actually, I don't have the actual exact number, but she said, the week I discovered your podcast, I had to reach out. On a recent episode, Chelsi made the comment that, quote, quilting is healing. And I can't begin to tell you how true that is, or this is. And I do remember you saying that. And again, I don't remember exactly what episode. But she goes on, she says, last summer I was diagnosed with an aggressive cancer that was caused by a rare anemia disorder. My vocal cords were removed and my throat reconstructed so that I can breathe and hopefully someday eat solid foods again. Before I went to the hospital, I finished my first quilt. I had no idea where to start quilting, and so I opted for a jelly roll strip quilt. The quilt comforted me while I was in ICU for a week, and since then I have been quilting constantly, almost obsessively. When I'm having a bad day, I know I can get out my fabric, turn on my machine, and create something beautiful that I can give to someone I love. My goal is to send everyone who has supported me in the last year will receive a quilt on their birthday this year.
Wow.
My quilts are perfectly imperfect and filled with love. Quilting is my safe place and is helping me move forward one block at a time. Thanks for all you guys do. I love listening, and can't wait to quilt with Laguna Sunrise. My reservation order has already been placed.
Yay.
Oh, I love that. I love how she said she's moving forward one block at a time. That's so...
And like, I love
Yeah.
also that she was like, my quilting is perfectly imperfect,
Yes.
which is the truth.
Yes.
Nothing is perfect. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Thank you
definitely
for
wanted to share that with you
sharing
that.
guys
So
because
inspiring.
you never
Make
know.
us cry
Yes.
at the end of
Something you say, quilting is healing. That can really,
Right.
really hit home for
I'm
certain
so
people.
glad you messaged in.
Yes.
That is, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I love that.
Here's another one, and perhaps it was episode 111 as well. So, and yeah, sort of some emotional ones here. So this is from
gosh.
Charlene. Wow, she put in the title podcast number 111. She said, "Wow, this was a very good podcast and struck a chord with me. First, it was the conversation about perfection. I have some wonky mistakes in every single quilt or quilted project I make. It wouldn't be mine if it didn't have a mistake of some sort. As hard as I try for my work to be perfect and mistake-free, it's just not. The other thing I was about was quilting not being just a hobby. Remember when we talked about that? And that was from another
Right.
listener. She said, I've only been quilting since 2020. I decided I needed to make myself a quilt while going through chemo. Not the best idea I ever had. It ended up being thrown out into my yard more than once. I finally decided to take it out for a while. I got it back out during the summer of 2021 and finished it. Since then, I've made more quilts or quilted projects than I can count. I've had cancer 3 times in the past 4 years. The first diagnosis was in March of 2020. Quilting has been my therapy. It has helped me get through some of the hardest times of my life. I think I've made 15 or so quilts, plus stable runners, wall/door hangings, etc. I now, after 3 years, consider myself a quilter. It's not just a hobby." She said, "Thank you for this podcast. I needed to hear this one." So,
I love that
You
too.
are a quilter. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Wow. Such
I wasn't ready.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
For this.
I know you didn't put
didn't
on
really
here that these were emotionally.
Yeah, I mean, that's too.
That is
Yes.
amazing, though.
Wow.
I feel like every time you hear that quilting does,
It
it
really
gets you,
does.
and it's
Get people through very hard
Yes.
times.
yeah, it is healing.
Yeah, and
Oh
I mean,
my
not
goodness.
only just hard times, but I mean, they were both physically
Yes.
Yes.
attacked, by
Yeah.
cancer and
Right.
everything. And that's amazing. They got through that and then was able to still do all this great work.
And I'm glad we share these stories too, because I know other people will be able to relate too.
Right.
That's, oh my goodness.
Yeah, for everyone, I can't remember the math, but they say for everyone that writes in, there are 100 people that maybe thought about writing in, so you can
Wow.
you can see how that would resonate with
Yeah, so
the
there's
people.
probably other people
Yes.
that, yeah.
Wow.
So thank you for those stories. I'm just going to share one more follow-up email here. It's not really a story, but it's some, and I wanted to share it right now because it was from our last episode.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking about the preservation and quilt care and everything, right? Well, and we talked about, and I brought up the fact that, hey, I don't use a quilt because it's too hot now. Well, so Pam wrote in, have you ever considered making a, quote, summer quilt? And she explained what is a piece top and a backing, then tied with pearl cotton. Is that actual hand tied? Is that what she means by that?
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing just no batting
Nothing in between.
at all. She said that style quilt might be usable in the Southwest heat. That is our answer in the Great Lakes, which is considerably cooler, but very high humidity. And she said she always enjoys the show. So, I mean, essentially you're just making a quilt with nothing inside, right?
Right.
It's just two pieces of fabric tied together.
Yeah. And I've just recently talked to a few people who just put a thin layer of flannel in for their summer weight quilts.
Yeah,
they do have it quilted, and it's going to be a lot thinner than the batting. But
kind of helpful during the summer.
Yeah, that was a great idea.
Something
and then still have the cute design on the bed like I like.
Yeah, you still have your art side of it, but it's also something that maybe I wouldn't
more
store away
for the summer. Yeah.
Because see, I still have a quilt on our bed, the one you gave me, the red, white, and blue one, which is the only king size I have. Mason just took it last night and flung it over to my side of the bed. He was like, nope.
See?
Just cozy earth for him, people. Yes.
So Mason's on board with me.
He is on board with it. He struggles sleeping in this heat. So,
well, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. As we mentioned, we will be back just in 1 week on Monday, July 29th for our next listener question episode.
Yeah, so we can't wait to see you then. Thanks so much for stopping by.